The rain hammered the roof like 1,000 accusations, drowning out the distant hum of Chicago traffic as Daniel's fingers trembled against the small of my back. "Dad," Liam whispered, his breath hot and ragged against my skin. "I can't pretend anymore. This isn't just a massage." In that split second, his hands slid up, pulling me closer, and the world shattered into a kiss that tasted of whiskey and regret, leaving us both gasping in the wreckage of everything we'd built. I never thought a simple back rub after a long day at the office would unravel the fragile threads of our family. But there we were, in the dim glow of the living room lamp, my stepson, my boy, in every way that mattered except blood, crossing a line that no amount of therapy sessions or late-night confessions could ever uncross. Liam's lips were soft, insistent, crashing against mine like a wave I'd been fighting my whole life. And God help me, I didn't pull away. Not at first. The storm outside mirrored the one brewing inside me, thunder rumbling like the echo of my late wife's laughter from the photos on the mantel. Sarah had been gone 3 years now, cancer, quick and cruel, leaving me a widowed architect in a too-big house in Lincoln Park, fumbling through grief with a teenage stepson who'd become my anchor. Liam was 19 now, home from his freshman year at Northwestern on summer break, all lean muscle from crew team and that effortless charm that turned heads in coffee shops. He looked so much like her, dark curls, hazel eyes that sparkled with mischief, but the way he moved, the quiet intensity, that was all his own. And lately, those eyes lingered on me a little too long, his touches brushing accidental boundaries during movie nights or shared runs along the lakefront. I chalked it up to hormones, to the awkward limbo of young adulthood. Hell, I was 42, still fit from weekend hikes in the Smokies and pickup basketball with the guys from the firm, but I knew better than to read into it. I'd raised him since he was 12, buried his mom beside my own regrets, and promised her on that sterile hospital bed I'd keep him safe. Safe from the world. From the bullies who'd called him Fairy in middle school for his love of Broadway musicals and sketching portraits of boys in his notebooks. I'd held him through those tears, told him love was love, no matter the shape. Hypocrite that I was, burying my own truths deep under layers of straight-laced normalcy. A failed engagement in my 20s, a string of dates that never stuck because something always felt off, unspoken. But that night, with the AC humming against the July humidity and a half-empty bottle of bourbon on the coffee table from our ritual catch-up drinks, it all cracked open. I'd come home knotted up from a client meeting gone south, some high-rise developer nitpicking blueprints like they were grocery lists, and collapsed on the couch, groaning about my shoulders. Liam, ever the caretaker, had offered the massage without a second thought. "Come on, Dad, let me work out those kinks. You're like a rusty old bridge." His laugh was light, teasing, as he straddled the couch behind me, his thighs bracketing my hips in a way that sent an unwelcome spark through me. I told myself it was the booze, the exhaustion. His hands were magic firm, knowing, thumbs digging into the traps I'd carried since Sarah's funeral. We talked about his classes, the girl he'd dated briefly last semester, a cover, I suspected, from the way his voice flattened, my latest project downtown. Easy, familiar, until his fingers grazed the nape of my neck, lingering, and the air thickened. "You carry too much," he murmured, voice low like the thunder rolling in. "Always have. For Mom. For me." I swallowed hard, eyes fixed on the flickering TV screen, some mindless cop show we'd both zoned out on. Someone's gotta, kid, but my pulse betrayed me, thudding under his touch. Then, the shift. his palms flattened, sliding down my spine with a deliberate slowness that wasn't father-son anymore. Heat bloomed where his chest pressed against my back, his breath fanning my ear. "Daniel," he said, using my name like a secret, not Dad, and it hit like lightning. No one called me that in this house, not since her. "Look at me," I twisted, half protest on my lips, and there he was, face inches away, eyes stormy with a hunger that mirrored my own buried storm. Before I could process, his mouth was on mine. Soft at first, tentative, like testing forbidden waters. Then deeper, his tongue tracing the seam of my lips, a moan escaping him that vibrated through us both. My hands found his waist, gripping the hem of his tank top, bunching fabric as if to anchor or push away. I couldn't tell which. The kiss tasted of spearmint gum and the faint salt of sweat from his evening jog, and it awakened something feral, something I'd denied since college locker rooms where glances lingered too long. We broke apart, chests heaving, the room spinning. Liam's eyes were wide, pupils blown, a flush creeping up his neck. "Shit," he breathed, scrambling back, knees knocking the coffee table. The remote clattered to the floor, silencing the TV. I'm sorry. I didn't mean, but I did. God, I did." The realization crashed over me like the rain now lashing the windows, guilt and desire twisting into a knot that stole my breath. "Liam," I rasped, reaching for him, but he was already on his feet, bolting for the stairs. The slam of his bedroom door echoed like a gunshot. I sat there, alone in the dark, tasting him still on my lips, the bourbon turning sour in my gut. What the hell had we done? This wasn't just a mistake. It was a detonation. And as the storm raged on, I knew one thing for certain. There was no going back. The next morning dawned sticky and gray, the kind of Chicago summer day that clings to your skin like regret. I woke on the couch, neck stiff from the awkward angle, the empty bottle accusing me from the table. Coffee brewed on autopilot, black and bitter, as I stared out at the dripping elms in the backyard. Liam's door stayed shut. No clatter of cereal bowls or the usual blast of indie rock from his speakers. By noon, the silence was deafening. I texted him, "Hey, kid. About last night. We need to talk." "Breakfast on me?" No reply. My thumb hovered over calling. But what would I say? Sorry for kissing you back? Or sorry it felt like coming home? Work dragged me out eventually. A site visit to a condo conversion in Wicker Park. But my mind was elsewhere, blueprints blurring as I replayed the moment. His hands, his mouth, the way his body fit against mine like a missing piece. Back home by 6. The house still echoed empty. A note on the fridge in his looping scrawl, "Out with friends. Be back late. Don't wait up." Punch to the gut. Friends, probably that crew from the boathouse. Straight-laced jocks who'd never understand the war raging in him. Or me. I poured a scotch, neat, and sank into my study, the walls lined with Sarah's watercolors and architecture tomes that suddenly felt like relics of a life I no longer recognized. He stumbled in around midnight, the front door creaking like a confession. I was in the kitchen, pretending to read emails on my phone, heart slamming. "Hey," I said, casual as I could manage, setting down the glass. Liam froze in the doorway, hair tousled from the wind, cheeks pink from whatever bar they'd hit in Andersonville. He smelled like cheap beer and raindamp flannel. "Hey," his eyes flicked to mine, then away, shoulders hunching like he was bracing for a fight. "Look. About. Don't." He cut me off, voice sharp, but there was a tremor under it. He crossed to the sink, filling a glass with water, gulping it down like it could wash away the taste of us. "It was a mistake. I was drunk last night. On the bourbon. Or whatever." "Liam." I stepped closer, the linoleum cold under my socks. "You weren't drunk. And neither was I." He slammed the glass down, water sloshing. "Jesus. Daniel, what do you want me to say? That I've been thinking about this for years? That every time you hug me goodnight, I want to turn it into something more? That I hate myself for it because you're—" His voice cracked, eyes glistening. "Your dad. My dad." The word hung between us, heavy as the humidity. I reached for his arm, but he jerked back, the betrayal in his gaze slicing deeper than any knife. "I'm not your blood, Liam. But I am your family. And whatever this is, we can't ignore it." "Why not?" He laughed, bitter, wiping his face with the back of his hand. "Because it'll ruin everything? It already has. Mom would hate this. She'd hate me. Sarah loved you. Unconditionally." My throat tightened, memories flooding, her holding him during chemo fog, whispering stories of far-off adventures. "She'd want us happy. Both of us. Happy." He scoffed, but his shoulders sagged, the fight draining out. "This isn't happiness, Daniel. It's a fucking grenade." We stood there, inches apart again, the kitchen clock ticking like a countdown. Then, slowly, he leaned in, not for a kiss, but a hug, his head dropping to my shoulder, body shaking with silent sobs. I wrapped my arms around him, holding tight, the scent of his shampoo mingling with the faint trace of last night's bourbon. "We'll figure it out," I murmured into his hair. "Together." But as he pulled away, eyes red-rimmed and resolute, I wondered if together meant the end of us as we knew it. The days blurred into a tense détente, like walking a tightrope over the Chicago River, one wrong step, and we'd both plummet. Liam threw himself into summer job shifts at the Lakeside Cafe, coming home smelling of espresso and fried dough, collapsing into bed before I could broach the elephant in the room. I buried myself in work, late nights at the drafting table turning elevations into escapes. But sleep evaded me, haunted by dreams where his hands roamed freely, waking me hard and ashamed in the king-sized bed that still felt too empty without Sarah. We danced around it, brushing past in the hallway with murmured "excuse me's," sharing meals where conversations skimmed the surface like stones on Lake Michigan. But the undercurrent pulled strong. One evening, after a brutal heat wave broke with a thunderstorm, I found him in the backyard, shirtless and sketching under the patio light. Raindrops beaded on his skin like diamonds, his pencil flying over the page. A portrait of me, from memory, capturing the lines around my eyes I'd earned from too many sleepless nights. "Caught you?" I said softly, settling on the Adirondack chair beside him. The air hummed with crickets and ozone. He didn't startle, just capped the pencil, tilting the pad toward me. "Guilty. Therapeutic, I guess." The drawing was raw, intimate. My jaw set in quiet determination, but the eyes held a vulnerability I'd hidden even from myself. "It's beautiful," I admitted, voice thick. "You see too much, kid. Always have." He set the sketchpad aside, stretching his arms overhead, muscles rippling in the low light. The movement drew my gaze, unbidden, to the trail of dark hair vanishing into his shorts. Heat flushed my cheeks. I looked away, focusing on the fireflies dancing in the grass. Silence stretched, companionable yet charged. Then, Daniel, what if we tried, just once, to see if it's real? My heart stuttered. Tried what? You know. His voice dropped, eyes locking on mine with that same stormy intensity. Us. The word hung like smoke, curling around the possibility. I should have shut it down. Therapy, boundaries, the American dream of tidy nuclear families. But the loneliness gnawed, amplified by the empty chair at dinner, the way his presence filled the house like sunlight after eclipse. Liam, this could destroy us. Or save us. He shifted closer, knee brushing mine. Electric. I've read the books, talked to the counselor at school. It's not wrong if it's honest. If it's love. Love. The word punched the air from my lungs. Was it? The fierce protectiveness since day one. The pride in his triumphs. The ache when he hurt. It had always been more than duty. And now, layered with this desire, terrified me how right it felt. That night, we didn't kiss. Not yet. But as we cleared the dishes side by side, his hand covered mine on the sponge, lingering. I turned, and we just held each other in the kitchen glow, foreheads touching, breaths sinking. It was chaste, profound, a promise whispered in the dark. The floodgates cracked slowly after that. Stolen touches. His fingers tracing my knuckles during a Blackhawks game on TV. My hand on his thigh during a drive to the Art Institute, where we wandered galleries hand in brush, discussing Matisse nudes with loaded subtext. We confessed in fragments, me, about the college crush on my roommate that I'd fled to frat parties and engineering majors, him, about the terror of coming out in a locker room full of alphas, the relief of a queer lit class that made him feel seen. One humid August afternoon, with the city baking under a relentless sun, it ignited. I'd taken the day off for a rare joint hike in the Indiana dunes. Sand-swept trails winding through dunes like golden waves, Lake Michigan glittering blue. We crested a rise, wind whipping our shirts, and collapsed laughing against a weathered log, sweat slick and alive. You're glowing, Liam said, propping on an elbow, sand dusting his curls. You're biased, I grinned, but my voice caught as he leaned in, lips brushing my temple, then jaw, tentative as a question. Am I? His hand cupped my face, thumb stroking stubble, and I nodded, pulling him down. Our kiss was sun-warmed, salty, deepening with the rhythm of waves crashing below. Hands explored his under my tee, mapping scars from a childhood fall. Mine in his hair, tugging gently as he straddled me, grinding slow and deliberate. We didn't go further there, not with hikers' voices echoing distant, but the drive home was torture, his hand on my thigh, inching higher, my grip white-knuckled on the wheel. By the time we tumbled through the front door, slamming it shut, urgency overtook caution. Upstairs, in my room, the one with Sarah's ghost lingering in the quilt folds, we stripped with fumbling reverence, bodies colliding in a tangle of limbs and gasps. Liam was fire-eager, reverent, mapping me with mouth and hands like a sacred text. God, Daniel. He murmured against my collarbone. I've dreamed this. I flipped us, pinning him gently, kissing down his chest, savoring the hitch in his breath, the arch of his back. It was messy, intense. Our first time raw with years of pent-up longing. ending in shared release that left us boneless, entwined. After, in the hush, he traced patterns on my chest. This doesn't change anything, does it? Us being us. I kissed his forehead. It changes everything. For the better. Lies, perhaps. Blissful ones. Fall crept in with crisp leaves skittering Lincoln Park paths. Liam heading back to Evanston for sophomore year. We navigated the separation with video calls laced with innuendo. Weekends stolen for study breaks in my city apartment. Nights of tangled sheets and whispered futures. I met his friends at a campus party, playing the proud stepdad while stealing kisses in shadowed corners. He charmed my colleagues at a firm barbecue, his arm slung casual around my waist when eyes averted. But cracks spiderwebbed. Whispers from my sister, Ellen, during a family dinner in Oak Park. You two seem close. Everything okay? Her eyes sharp over pumpkin pie, probing the way Liam's foot nudged mine under the table. I brushed it off. Grief bonds, I said, but doubt seeded. Worse came from within. Liam's roommate, Jake, a burly poli-sci major with a suspicious squint, cornered me after dropping him off one rainy October night. He talks about you a lot. Like, a lot. What's the deal? Just family. I lied. Rain drumming the Jeep's roof like judgment. But Jake's smirk lingered, a harbinger. Thanksgiving loomed, our first as lovers in plain sight. We planned a quiet one, turkey in the city, no extended family drama. But Liam invited Jake to keep things normal. The word mocked as we carved bird in the dining room, candlelight flickering, Jake's gaze darting between us like a hawk. It happened over pie. Liam's hand found my knee under the tablecloth, a habitual reassurance. But Jake coughed, eyes narrowing. Dude, seriously, in front of your dad? Liam froze, hand withdrawing like burned. What? Jake laughed, uneasy. Come on, man. The way you look at him is creepy. Step or not, that's fucked up. The room iced. Liam's face drained, fork clattering. You don't know shit, Jake. I know enough. Jake shoved back his chair, napkin tossed. Call me when you're done playing house. The door slammed, leaving silence thicker than gravy. Liam bolted to the bathroom. Retching, I followed, rubbing his back as he heaved up denial. It's out, he gasped, tears mixing with sink water. Someone knows. We'll handle it. But my voice shook, the fragility exposed. That night, we made love fierce and desperate, reclaiming each other against the betrayal's sting. But dawn brought reality. Jake's texts blowing up Liam's phone. Freak. Pervert. Tell your dad, I said hi. Screenshots forwarded to mutual friends. Whispers rippling through the crew team like poison. Liam withdrew, skipping classes, holing up in his dorm with blinds drawn. My calls went to voicemail. When he finally answered, his voice was hollow. I can't do this, Daniel. It's too much. The looks, the jokes. Mom's gone. And now this? We're poison. You're not. I drove to campus that night, pounding on his door until he let me in, collapsing into my arms. We talked till sunrise, therapy, maybe transferring schools, coming out on our terms. I love you, he whispered, the first time spoken plain. But love isn't enough if it breaks us. It won't. I held him tighter, but the lie tasted like ash. Winter gripped Chicago in iron fists, snow blanketing the city like a shroud. Christmas was subdued, Tree trimmed with Sarah's ornaments, lights twinkling against the frost-laced windows. Liam stayed home, Jake's fallout forcing a leave of absence. We cocooned, sledding in Grant Park, glühwein at Christkindl Market, nights lost in each other, pretending the world outside couldn't touch us. But it did. New Year's Eve, a knock shattered the illusion. Ellen, unannounced, arms full of poinsettia and suspicion. Surprise! Thought you loners could use some family. Liam and I exchanged panicked glances over eggnog, his hand clammy in mine under the throw blanket. Dinner was a minefield, her questions about school, my glow, the way we finished each other's sentences. Bedtime came merciful. She crashed in the guest room, oblivious. Midnight, as fireworks bloomed over the lake, we slipped to the roof deck, bundled in scarves, sharing a flask of rye. To us, Liam toasted, clinking his plastic cup to mine. To surviving, our kiss was champagne sweet, urgent against the cold. But as Ellen's light flicked on below, guilt twisted. The bomb dropped in February, Valentine's Day of all ironies. I'd planned a getaway, cabin in Door County, hearts carved in snowdrifts. But Liam's phone buzzed mid-pack, a link from an anonymous campus group chat. Screenshots. Jake had struck back. Blurry photos from that party. My hand on Liam's back. A voice memo of our study break moans, recorded through thin dorm walls. The betrayal hit like a blizzard. That son of a bitch, Liam snarled, hurling his phone. Shards skittered across the hardwood. I pulled him close, but fury boiled. We'll sue. Get a restraining order. It's everywhere. Daniel. Texts, posts, incest alert, Northwestern prof's son and stepdad. They think you're faculty. Hysteria edged his laugh. My life's over. Not if we fight. But as notifications piled, vitriol from strangers, sickos. Groomer. Disown him, doubt crept. Reporters called the house line. My firm partner left voicemails. Tone clipped. Need to talk. Dan. PR nightmare. That night, in the cabin we'd still driven to, fleeing the city like refugees, we didn't make love. We argued. Liam paced the pine-paneled room, eyes wild. This is your fault. You knew the risks, age gap, the step thing. But you pushed. Me, shock stung. You kissed me first. Remember, this fire, we lit it together. Together, he spat the word, collapsing onto the bearskin rug. That's the problem. We're not equals. You're the adult, the one with power. What if I'm just broken? Mom's death. My confusion. Maybe I'm using you to feel whole. The accusation landed like a slap. You think this is pity? Christ. Liam, I see you. The man you're becoming, brilliant and fierce. I love you for that, not despite it. Tears carved tracks down his face. Then let me go. For real. Back to school. Face the shit alone. Prove it's not codependent. Or what? We self-destruct. I knelt, cupping his face. We're stronger together. But he pulled away, curling into himself. Stronger? Look at us. Hiding. Hurting. I need space to breathe. The drive home was silent. Snow whipping the windshield like accusations. At the door, he hugged me fierce. Last time, I feared. I love you, he whispered. But maybe love means sacrifice. He left for Evanston the next dawn. Duffel slung over shoulder. Eyes shadowed. I watched his taillights fade into the slushy streets, chest hollow as the magnificent Miles Marquise. Spring thawed the ice, but not the rift. Liam dove into counseling, a campus queer center group that became his lifeline, texts trickling in about boundaries and self-discovery, laced with "I miss you" that twisted like barbed wire. I threw myself into work, landing a high-profile redesign for a Gold Coast hotel. Blueprints my therapy. Nights, I ran the lakefront trail till lungs burned, passing couples hand in hand, wondering if we'd ever reclaim that ease. Ellen confronted me over Easter brunch in her sunny Evanston kitchen, ham steaming on the sideboard. "Spill it, Dan." Liam's a ghost, skips family calls, looks like hell when he does show. And you're haunted. I forked eggs, appetite fleeing. Rough semester. Scandals at school. Bullshit. Her blue eyes, Sarah's eyes, pinned me. I saw the posts. The rumors. Is it true? The world narrowed to her gaze, pulse roaring. Deny? Confess? It's complicated. I hedged. We care deeply. More than stepfather, stepson. She set down her mug, face crumpling. Oh, Danny. After Sarah? How could you? Love doesn't follow scripts. Voice steady, surprising me. It just happens. She reached across, squeezing my hand. Then fight for it. But clean. No more hiding. It's eating you alive. Her absolution cracked something. I cried then, first time since the funeral. Her arms around me like when we were kids trading comic books in our parents' crumbling Southside row house. Tell him, she urged. Before it's too late. May bloomed with lilacs choking the air. Graduation season buzzing. Liam walked, diploma in hand, crew jacket slung over shoulder. Amid a smattering of supporters, Jake Long exiled to another dorm. I sat in the alumni section, heart swelling at his stride across the quad. But he didn't seek me out post-ceremony, vanishing into a knot of new friends from his lit seminar. That night, he called. Daniel, can you come? Like, now. I'm there. Half an hour later, I pulled up to his off-campus walk-up in Rogers Park, the L train rattling overhead like nerves. He buzzed me up, door ajar, room strewn with packing boxes, summer sublet ending, job hunt looming. He looked wrecked, stubble shadowing jaw, eyes ringed purple. Sit, he gestured to the futon, handing me a lukewarm beer. I fucked up. Tell me. I sipped, waiting. The space. It was supposed to clear my head. But all I did was miss you. The group, they say it's possible, healthy even, if we own it. No shame, he paced, sneakers scuffing the scarred floor. But then this. He thrust a letter at me, acceptance to a grad program at Columbia, full ride in creative writing. NYC. New start. Away from the whispers. Pride warred with panic. That's incredible, Liam. You earned it. Yeah. He stopped, facing me, vulnerability raw. But I don't want to go alone. Not anymore. The air charged, electric as a storm front. What are you saying? Come with me. His voice broke. Or visit. Build something real. Not stolen moments, but a life. I stood, closing the distance, hands framing his face. You have no idea how many nights I lay awake, imagining that. In some walk-up in Brooklyn, arguing over takeout and manuscripts. Then why hesitate? Hurt flickered in his eyes. Because I'm scared, honesty burned. Of losing you to this, to the world's hate. or my own baggage? What if I'm holding you back? You're not. He kissed me then, soft and sure, tasting of hops and hope. You're my forward. We tumbled to the futon, reclaiming lost months in urgent caresses, his nails raking my back, my lips mapping freckles I'd memorized in dreams. It was slower this time, worshipful, bodies sinking like they'd never parted. After, tangled in sheets that smelled of him, ink and salt, we planned. My firm had East Coast ties. Remote work was feasible. A trial run, me subletting in the city, weekends in Morningside Heights. But betrayal's shadow lingered. June sweltered as we packed the house. My house, now half empty with his books gone. Amid bubble wrap and nostalgia, a box tumbled. Sarah's letters, tied with faded ribbon. Liam knelt, fingers trembling as he untied. Read with me, we did, on the living room floor, her words unfolding like petals. Dreams for him, a future bright with art and adventure. For me, urging courage, love again, Dan. Fiercely. The kind that scares you. One. Dated weeks before the end. If it's Liam who makes your heart race, honor that. Family isn't blood, it's chosen. Tears blurred ink. We clung, her blessing a ghost's grace. NYC hit like a fever dream. Hustle of yellow cabs, steam rising from grates. Liam's cramped Columbia dorm traded for a one-bedroom in Harlem. Exposed brick and fire escape views of the Apollo Theater. I crashed weekdays, drafting on a wobbly desk while he seminared. Evenings hours, dim sum in Chinatown, kisses in Central Park rowboats, bodies entwined to the symphony of sirens. Summer flamed passionate, roof deck barbecues with his queer cohort, who embraced us with eye rolls at the daddy vibes jokes. Pride marches where we marched hand in hand, rainbows draping our shoulders. But conflict brewed subtle. His late nights at open mics, my video calls with the firm turning tense over commitment issues. Climax shattered in August, heat wave peaking like our tempers. Liam landed an internship at a lit mag downtown. Elated, I pitched a queer-inclusive redesign for a Brooklyn community center. Rejected for being too provocative. Frustration boiled over dinner. Falafel from the halal cart, eaten on stoop steps. You're playing small, he accused, eyes flashing. Hiding behind safe lines, like you hid from mom. Playing small, I shot back, fork stabbing pita. I'm here, aren't I? Uprooted for you, while you chase dreams on my dime. His face paled. Your dime? Is that what this is? Pity funding. Words escalated. Barbs flying. My arrested development. His ingratitude. In rage. I hurled the truth. Jake was right. This is fucked, me. Twice your age. Pulling strings. He recoiled. Chair scraping. Then go. Back to your picket fence. Pretending. I stormed out, wandering midtown till dawn. Skyscrapers mocking my isolation. At a all-night diner, nursing black coffee, regret crashed, betrayal not of outsiders, but us mirroring the world's cruelty inward. Morning found me at his door, flowers wilted from humidity, apologies scrawled on a napkin. He opened, ice puffy, and pulled me in without a word. I called Ellen, he confessed over coffee. She said we're idiots, but worth it. We laughed, broken, rebuilding from the rubble. Therapy followed, couple sessions in a village brownstone, unpacking power dynamics, grief's tendrils. You're equals, the counselor affirmed. Chosen, not imposed. Fall gilded Central Park. Liam's program thriving, my firm greenlighting the project with tweaks. We hosted Thanksgiving, Ellen and her partner, Jake's exile a distant scar. Toasts rang, to Sarah, to us. Yet winter whispered doubts. December, a blizzard buried the city. Power flickered, forcing candles and confessions. What if it fades? Liam murmured, head on my chest. The spark. Then we stoke it. I kissed his temple. Daily, but fate, cruel dramatist, intervened. January brought news. My firm's downsizing, layoff looming unless I relocated. Back to Chicago, anchor of stability. Liam's program extended another year, roots deepening in NYC soil. Go, he urged over takeout Thai. Eyes brave. I'll visit. We make it work. Long distance, I scoffed, but fear gnawed. After everything, love adapts, his hand over mine, steady. Or it dies. The choice loomed. Betrayal's echo. Choose him. Risk my foundation. Choose security. Lose our fragile bloom. February's chill seeped through fire escape gaps, mirroring the frost between us. I accepted the transfer, partial remote. Chicago base. Packing Harlem's warmth into boxes, each book a pang. Liam helped. Silent efficiency masking hurt. Our lovemaking turned tender, desperate, as if touch could tether. Goodbye, airport kiss at LaGuardia was salt-streaked, his curls damp against my lips. Weekly flights, I vowed. No ghosts, but miles stretched emotions thin. Chicago welcomed with open arms, firm promotions, Ellen's dinners, runs along familiar lake paths, but loneliness echoed in the empty house, Sarah's photos judgmental sentinels. Liam's calls crackled with static. His deadlines, my site visits, desire fading to miss you platitudes. April bloomed cruel, his birthday, a weekend surprise in NYC. I arrived to find him at a bar in the East Village, surrounded by admirers, a lithe poet with sleeve tattoos, laughing at his jokes. Jealousy flared, irrational. Later, in bed, I accused. Who's he? Classmate. Networking. Liam sighed, rolling away. Paranoia doesn't suit you. It's absence. I traced his spine. We're drifting. He turned, eyes searching. Then anchor us. Move back for good. I can't. Career. Roots. Conflict crested. Words tumbling. My fear of stagnation in NYC's grind. His resentment of my safety net. You chose this, he snapped. Half measures. The fight ended in silence. My flight home a blur of regret. Summer scorched bridges. Liam's internship extended. Visits dwindled to monthly. Excuses piling. Thesis crunch. My texts went unanswered longer. Replies curt. One humid July night. Post a brutal client pitch. I called voicemail. Hours later, busy. Talk tomorrow. Tomorrow became days. Panic clawed. I drove to O'Hare unannounced. Red eye to JFK. His walk-up door yielded to my spare key, but inside chaos. Manuscript strewn. A stranger's jacket on the hook, the poet, tangled with Liam on the couch. Lips locked in betrayal's stark tableau. Time fractured. Liam. They sprang apart. Poet fleeing with muttered shit, leaving us in wreckage. Liam's face crumpled. Guilt. Relief. Fury. Daniel. I didn't. You did. Voice hollow. I backed toward the door. How long? Weeks? Months? I don't know. He raked hands through hair. You're gone. Even when here. I felt invisible. Invisible. Laughter barked. Bitter. I uprooted twice for you. Fought the world. And lost yourself. Tears welled. This us, it's a cage now. Beautiful, but bars. The knife twisted. Truth in his words. My resentment a silent saboteur. So you fuck someone else? That's the out. No. He reached. But I flinched. A mistake. Panic. Betrayal's floodgate opened mine. Sarah's ghost laughing at the irony. I left. Cab to a midtown hotel. City lights blurring through tears. Dawn found me wandering Times Square. Billboards screaming consumerism while my world imploded. He called endlessly. I silenced. Flying home to Chicago's indifferent sprawl. Ellen staged intervention over wine in her sunroom. End it clean, Dan. Or poison festers. But love, stubborn weed, persisted. August. His apology letter arrived. Manila envelope. Handwriting shaky. I betrayed us because I feared losing you to distance. But in cheating, I lost myself. Forgive or free. I drove to Northwestern, uninvited, finding him lakeside, skipping stones like kid days. Read it, I said, thrusting the envelope. He did, wind-whipping pages. I'm sorry. Truly. Therapy's helping. Seeing how grief warped me, made me sabotage. Me too. I sat beside, pebbles crunching. I clung to control, forgot partnership. We talked hours raw, unfiltered, the poet a symptom, not cause our wounds needing air. Restart, he ventured. No moves, no ultimatums. Just as is. Hope flickered, fragile. Trial by fire. Fall semester. We rebuilt deliberate. Bi-weekly visits. No overnights. Dinners in neutral zones. Hands held across cafe tables. Intimacy simmered. Rekindled slow. A kiss in Millennium Park fog. Hands linking on L trains. His thesis advisor praised evolving voice. My hotel project broke ground. Queer murals integrated. Quiet win. Thanksgiving. Back in the Lincoln Park house, now staged neutral. Sarah's photos joined by our candids. We cooked chaos. Burned rolls. Laughter echoing. Ellen joined. Toasting second X. Bed that night. Tentative touches blooming urgent. Bodies remembering paths. Forgiveness sealed in gasps and whispers. Winter whispered redemption. Christmas. NYC again. His dorm strung with lights. Columbia's spires snow-capped. We skated Woolman Rink. Falls into arms. Mulled wine warming veins. Future? He asked, breath clouding. NYC base, I decided. Firms flexible. You, stay, kiss under mistletoe bough. Build, but climax loomed insidious. January, package, Jake's doing, final venom. USB drive, labeled truth. I plugged in, alone in the Harlem flat while Liam seminared videos, audio, our stolen moments compiled, time-stamped, captioned with slurs. Exposed. For the world. Horror-iced veins. How? Hacks? Spies? Jake's vendetta, amplified by online trolls. Posts already viral in fringe forums. Real-life incest. Stepdad seduces son. Liam burst in post-class. Face ashen from alerts. Daniel. I know. We clutched the drive like contagion. We fight or flee? Fight. steel in his voice. Publicly. Own it. The press conference was Ellen's idea, her PR savvy from nonprofit days. February 14th. Valentine's irony. A modest affair in a village community center. Rainbow flags draping podium. Reporters crammed. Flashes blinding. Liam and I side by side. Hands linked below sightline. I spoke first. Voice steady. We're Daniel and Liam partners. Lovers. Family by choice. Our stories unconventional. Yes, stepfather and stepson. Navigating loss and love. But it's ours. No shame. No apologies. Liam followed. Curls tamed. Eyes fierce. Betrayal came from fear, mine. Others. But love is the bravest thing. To Sarah, who taught us that, to anyone hiding, come out. We're here. Questions flew. Ages. Timeline. Consent. We answered raw, yes. Power imbalances addressed in therapy. No. Not grooming. Mutual awakening. Flack flew. Headlines screamed taboo romance rocks academia. But allies rallied. Glad statements. Op-eds in The Atlantic praising vulnerability. Fallout stung. Firm wobbles. But clients surged for authentic voice. Liam's program shielded him. Peers forming guard. Strangers messaged support. You gave me courage. Humanity's tide turning. Spring 2026 greened the city. Our scars blooming. We moved to a brownstone in Brooklyn. Exposed beams. Garden plot for herbs. Weekends. Farmers markets in Park Slope. Sketches of each other by window light. Intimacy deepened. Trust slow burn. Touches reverent. One May evening. Rooftop sunset painting skyline gold. Liam knelt. Not proposal, but promise. We've survived storms, he said. Ring simple silver. Marry me? Not legally yet, but in our truth. Tears pricked. Yes. Kiss sealed. City humming benediction. Years folded. My firm thrived on inclusive designs. Liam's novel, Our Story, fictionalized, debuted to acclaim. Forward dedicated. To the man who massaged more than my back. My heart. Sarah's grave. Visited summers. Bloomed wildflowers we planted. We aged into it. Grays threading my hair. Laugh lines etching his eyes, human. Flawed. Whole. Betrayal's echo faded to lessen. Love, the ultimate rebellion, demands courage not just to begin, but endure. In quiet moments, his hand on my back, massage turned ritual. I'd whisper, still reeling, always, smile shared, unexpected touches eternal. The wedding was small, defiant, June solstice, backyard of our Brooklyn brownstone transformed. Fairy lights strung like stars, wildflowers nodding in breeze off the East River. No officiant, just vows etched on paper. Ellen officiating with teary grin. A dozen queer kin witnesses. Liam's lit circle. My architect allies. Even a contrite Jake, reformed via prison stint for stalking. Now sober advocate. Toasting redemption. I wore linen suit. Pale blue like Lake Michigan shallows. Liam, white tee under seersucker. Curls crowned with daisy chain. Daniel, he began, voice carrying on wind. You caught me mid-fall, grief's cliff, desire's edge. Promised safety, then showed me flight. I vow to hold your hand through tempests, to see you as you are, architect of my soul. Tears blurred his face. Mine followed. Liam, you were storm and shelter, massage that mended, kiss that awakened. From step to stride, you've been home. I vow to build with you, Not for you, walls of trust, windows of truth, rings exchanged, twisted silver, engraved real together, sealed with kiss that drew cheers, confetti swirling like joy's snow. Feast followed, barbecue ribs sticky-fingered, craft IPAs flowing, stories swapped till stars pricked velvet sky. Dance under strung bulbs, slow sway to Coltrane, his head on my shoulder, world reduced to heartbeat sync. Honeymoon whispered Italian, Amalfi Coast, cliffs plunging to azure, lemons golden in groves. We hiked paths etched Roman, swam coves clear as glass, nights in whitewashed villa, bodies lazy, loving, tracing maps of scars earned. Happy? He murmured one dawn, sheet tangled. Utterly, kiss to temple. You, reeling still, grin mischievous, hand wandering south. Back home, life wove domestic poetry. Mornings, coffee brewed black. His manuscripts spread kitchen table. Afternoons, my sketches beside. Collaborative dreams, queer youth center in Bushwick. Funded by his book tour residuals. Evenings, runs through Prospect Park. Picnics under ancient oaks. Debates over Proust versus Baldwin that ended in laughter. Lovemaking. Conflict lingered. Humanistic shadow. My firm's expansion demanded travel. Philly pitches. Boston bids, stirring old insecurities. 1 October, post a week in D.C. I returned to find him withdrawn, eyes distant over stir-fry. Missed you, he admitted, fork pushing peas. Echoes of before. I set down chopsticks, hand over his. We're not that anymore. Check-ins. Trust. I know. Sigh heavy. But what if life's pulls fray us again? Then mend. Pull into lap. Chin on shoulder. Like always. Therapy resumed. Seasonal tune-up. Unpacking anniversary reactions. Affirming growth. His second book brewed. Memoir fragments. Our resilience raw nerve. Scared? I asked. Reading drafts by firelight. Terrified. Fingers laced. But braver with you. Winter 2027 blanketed brownstone in hush. Holidays hybrid. Chicago for Ellen's tree trimming. NYC for his reading series launch. Snow fell fat flakes as we shoveled walk. Breaths clouding jests. Old man, he teased, tossing powder. Watch it. Whippersnapper. Tackle into drift. Kisses melting chill. Spring unearthed buried. Letter from Liam's bio dad. Absent ghost since toddlerhood. Mailed care of publisher. Post-reading buzz. Saw your words. Proud? Confused. Can we talk? Tom. Liam stared envelope. Knuckles white. Haven't thought of him in years. Worth hearing. Neutral. Heart aching preemptive. He nodded. Slow. Meeting set. Neutral cafe in Midtown. Us three. Tom arrived rumpled, 50s. Lines etched regret. Eyes Liam's mirror. Awkward coffees. Stilted chat. His life derailed by addiction. Recent sobriety. I bailed when Sarah needed me. Weak. Liam's jaw tightened. You bailed on me. Tom winced. Unforgivable. But seeing you now, with Daniel strong, loved, makes me wish I'd fought. Words hung, tears unshed. Maybe start small, Liam said finally. Letters. Not promises. Humanity's grace. Not erasure, but allowance. Tom became peripheral correspondent. Postcards from rehab alumni meets. Pride in Liam's accolades. Closure, not cure. Summer swelled with milestones. Center groundbreaking. My keynote at AIA conference. Designing belonging. Love as blueprint. Applause thundered. Backstage. Liam's hug grounded. Nailed it. You made me. Kiss quick. Public now. Normalized. His book dropped fall. Unexpected reels. A love in fragments. Climb Times charts. Panels packed. One Chicago signing. Post-reading Q&A turned personal. How'd betrayal shape you? Liam glanced me. Podium shared. Broke us open. But from shards. Stronger mosaic. Crowd odd. My chest swelled. Pride paternal. Partner. Yet drama's thread pulled taut. Health scare. Autumn leaf peep in Vermont. Hiking Adirondack spine. Twinge in my chest. Shortness. Sweat cold. Liam half carried down. ER dash to Burlington. Stress test clear. But warning ease up. Doc said. Hearts whispering. Home. Recalibration. Semi-retirement pitched. Consultancy shift. Liam fretted. Hovering like early days. Not dying, I joked over soup. Just. Human. Scared me. Head on lap. Can't lose you. Won't. Vow renewed. Life's fragility sharpening joy. 2028 dawned resolutions. Travel light, road trip southwest. Canyons carving time scale. Sedona red rock. Liam sketching vistas. Me photographing him. Profile wind-tousled. Essence captured. Night's intent. Stars wheeling. Lovemaking earthbound. Back east. Community bloomed. Center open doors. Youth pouring in. Stories mirroring ours. Hugs traded like lifelines. One teen. Wide-eyed. Your book saved me. Came out last week. Liam teared. Hugging fierce. Proud. Evening volunteer shifts. We mentored tandem, my structures. His narratives weaving safety nets. Anniversary second. Paris escape. Sane strolls. Eiffel glow. Café au lait. Croissants flaky. Louvre whispers. Venus de Milo mocking marble perfection. Hotel alcove. Same view. Slow dance to busker's accordion. His hand small of back echo origin. Still unexpected? I murmured. Every day. Lips to neck. Best surprise. Aging grace gentle. 40s tipping 50s. My frame softening. His lanky filling to solid. Joint aches joked over PT. But vitality hummed yoga classes. By commutes. Passion undimmed. One crisp November. Brownstone hearth crackling. Liam unveiled manuscript final. Epilogue draft. Years on. Touches remain electric. Back rubs turned bombs. Kisses anchors. We've reeled through tempests. Emerged philosophers of heart. Love. Not linear. But spiral deepening. Enduring. I read. Throat tight. Publish. With you. Eyes met. Depths fathomless. Human end. Not fairy tale. But testament. Betrayal's scar faded tattoo. Reminder resilience. In America's vast quilt. Chicago steel to NYC pulse. We stitched our square. Dramatic. Emotional. Romantic. Raw. And in quiet. His head on my chest. Pulse steady duet. I knew. Reeling complete. Anchored eternal.